You are Locked On Texas Tech, your daily podcast on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Able to be successful this weekend. Seems like there are some signs indicating that you may have a big party back in Lubbock the following Saturday. I know it's going to be that way to an extent anyway as BYU comes to town, but there's been a lot of curiosity and questions from the mob and elsewhere about, with a win this weekend, would there be a possibility of getting a college game day appearance from ESPN? This has been announced as an 11 a.m. kick, an ABC or ESPN broadcast, which I think is also some arrow pointing towards that possibility. And then we have one in the form of, I believe, Reese Davis making some comments about not wanting to give anything away, but he's possibly stocking up on tortillas the next couple of weeks. So it sounds like it's a real possibility, or dare I say even likelihood, if, capital I and F, if you're successful this weekend. Is that how you are interpreting some of what we're seeing?
Yes. I think that is a very fair assumption. I think there's probably a certain circumstance where even if you don't, if you were to drop one in Kansas State here, that it still may get the nod. But I think a win, and I think it may lock it. And I can't say that for 100% certainty, but I feel I'm in the 90s on the percentage.
I like that.
And part of it is because BYU's off this weekend. They're going to be undefeated. They're probably going to be in the top 10 or just on the cusp of it at least. If you were to win this weekend, you may also, and so it could present itself as a top 10 matchup. So there's that. The other thing is like with LSU's demise and Brian Kelly being fired and them getting blown out, there's an LSU-Alabama game that day that probably would have been fairly attractive if you're looking at it a month ago with national championship or playoff implications or whatever. Well, not as much now. And then the other one is A&M is at Missouri, which is also going to be should be a top 20 matchup. But Missouri just dropped one to Vanderbilt. Had Missouri beat Vanderbilt, maybe we're having a different conversation now. But A&M is all of a sudden undefeated and they're top 5 in the country and all that stuff. So anyways, but again, it's just amazing what a win could do for you this weekend in Manhattan. It could set up kind of what you're wanting to do here, and just figure it out, man. Just go get a result by hook, by crook, back up in there, back out of there. Half a point. I don't give a damn. You're just trying to get a result. I'll sit here and talk about all the problems you had on Sunday. You will too if you got a result. I won't. Man, I don't know how they did it. This looked terrible. This guy didn't play well. I don't know. Whatever. But just get a result, man, and keep swinging. That's really the goal here. It's a 7-point spread this weekend, but it's just not going to be easy at all. And we've all seen the movies before that don't end well. This is a different group. Pretty simple, though. Just go take care of it. Barron has said it repeatedly this week. I just have to get the balls of my playmakers. Just get this guy the ball, get this guy the ball, Yep. Let them do their thing. And if you get a typical defensive performance, I refuse to believe, too. I'll go back to that Tempe game. I refuse to believe that you poke it out 3 times, this one, that one of them won't bounce to you. I just don't know if you're going to live that way with the football gods going, we're not rewarding you again today, even though you made the right play and you poked that ball out, and we're going to give it to the purple guy. Again, I mean, the football gods can't like purple either, really, right? I mean,
I don't know. It is a royal color.
True.
Chris, I would say I'd love to be discussing another ugly, sort of melancholy, 42-0 shutout. That'd be fantastic. I'd be up for that episode.
Oh man,
on Sunday. Back to the game day thing for a second before we get out of here. Cincinnati and Utah this weekend, and I know as you're just describing some of those other matchups, the offerings elsewhere always have a lot to do with what they're choosing. Also, I was a little surprised by this one, and I guess I'm going to be if it does develop that way, even more surprised that there would be a back-to-back Big 12 weekend for ESPN. I know there's a lot of thoughts out there about what ESPN's motivations are and obviously what they want to market and represent. But did it surprise you where they were headed this weekend? And would it surprise you to have back-to-back Big 12 features? First, today's episode brought to you by Gametime. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly feel the call of the stadium. That's exactly where Gametime comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. And with the money you save on tickets, you can then splurge on foods, drinks, gear, and more. Gametime makes it all possible. And best of all, Gametime makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get the first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. And if you're like me, you get tired of endless scrolling trying to find the best deal, and that's why Gametime's Zone Deals is the go-to move, since it automatically picks the best seats in your section for you at the best price. And as always, you can get a view from your seat right there in the app. So before you buy, you know exactly what you're going to see. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use our code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use our code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE, Locked on College, for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets at the lowest price, guaranteed.
Well, a little bit. I was semi surprised about the Utah Cincy game. I think that it's part of the weekend slate that kind of dictates it. As I'm sitting here, looking at it, it's. I mean, Texas Vanderbilt. That would have maybe been the one, but Texas hasn't really played great. There's not
enough brand power in that one for me, Chris.
Yeah, and I think they probably are feeling it a bit on the, we need to not lean into our favorites as much, but
do you think they care?
There's some optics there that I think certain people do and certain people don't care, but I think it's a bit of a thing. Sure.
There's also a financial bottom line, right?
Yeah, no doubt. But part of it too is that the Cincinnati and Utah game is on ESPN. And then when you see the TV selections for the BYU Texas Tech game, it's either going to be on ABC or ESPN. So there's some connection there too. Yeah. If this game or that particular game would have been picked up by Fox, again, we're probably having a bit of a different conversation. But I think there's some synergy there with that's why I say I really do. I think there's still a chance if it doesn't go your way in Manhattan. I think there's still a chance it could still come your way this coming weekend. Either way, man, I'm just here for the result. I think it would help it would certainly help the pomp and circumstance in the crowd and all the things, because I think the fan base loves these shows. They showed up for Big Noon last year. The one time Gameday was here in 2008, it was a massive deal. Bob Knight was famously said, I mean, I got a lot of friends at Texas, but today I deeply hope we beat their ass. It's just this is one of the, and then Lee Corso with the, it's just, it's iconic in our deal here. This is, just remember that like it was yesterday, and it's been 17 years.
Yeah. Let's not do the math on that too closely. And I'd just like to say all the preceding comments about next week were delivered with all due respect to Kansas State. Chris, sure. Appreciate your time as always, man. Enjoyed it. Looking ahead to a final go-around for the week. We'll dive into the mailbag before we send you to the Sunflower State. So looking forward to it.
Well, I can tell you that the Sunflower definitely resides in Manhattan, because they've beaten Kansas in the Sunflower Showdown. It 17 years in a row?
Yes, that's off of them.
Jeez, some rivalry.
And I heard, by the way, there were K-State fans chucking tortillas in Lawrence. I appreciated that pettiness and research.
Pocket knives too, maybe? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, let's not get any more false flags underway.
Okay. All right. But yeah, let's hope these same Kansas State fans are throwing the tortillas this weekend as well. I mean, I won't be mad at it.
No.
I won't be mad at all.
No,
by the way,
encouraged.
I know you saw the bottle throwing activity going on in Tempe, Arizona, late in the game this past weekend with a lot of ref you suck chants. So I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I haven't seen anything else come of that, but I don't know. It wasn't lost on me. I thought only Texas Tech fans were, like the.
Well, yeah, since I didn't see all the stern messaging from the office and things like that, I assume they must have been made to understand that in the desert, that was just an effort to help hydrate the official ref. You suck it on that end, the water comes out. You're in the desert, stay hydrated.
Or water in the grass. It is a natural
trying to make a hand. That's just being neighborly. I guess maybe out there. I don't know. Or something else entirely was afoot. Either way, we don't have time to investigate here this week. We got bigger fish to fry. All right. Thank you all for being out there. Get subscribed on YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts so you never miss an episode. Of course, appreciate the everydayers for always riding along and the Matador Mob for spurring on some of this here conversation today. You can hit our show notes and find a link to a free 14-day trial at your direct line to Chris and myself with one-on-one text sent straight to your phone. And shout out to my man, Nathan, who contacted me, Chris, because apparently somebody's letting him know I'm due for a backflow test. He said, I'm also a faithful listener and Matador mobster. I said, Nathan, come on by. Let's keep this cash circling in the famdamly. So please let me know what other services the mob can provide to Chris or my household, because I know we're probably needing the same things along the way. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, everybody, for being out there. And thank you for the time. As always, we hope to see you back for the next round on Locked On Texas Tech.